Hello friends, and welcome back to She's in Her Apron, and welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm going to refresh this kitchen from the holidays. So my parents were here for a while and it was so much fun, but I didn't give my kitchen a reboot because they were here and honestly, they didn't know where anything went, so they kind of stuffed things and things. And then it got to the point where I was like, I don't know, just shove it in there. The kitchen needs to be refreshed. So we moved into this house the end of June. And I created some systems in the kitchens and the drawers for the pots, pans, utensils and spices and things like that. I knew it wasn't going to be perfect right off the bat because, you know, I need to live in here for a while. We need to see the flow of the kitchen, what works, what doesn't. Did you guys see that we built our food storage room? Oh, yes. So down in the basement, our shelves are up. Our storage is going down there. That holds all our food, the canned goods. And now I want to take what's in the pantry and in some of these drawers and put them downstairs on the shelf. Things that I'm not using weekly, but everything else I'm gonna put downstairs on those shelves. So this way, chaos can be somewhat contained and controlled. And maybe through this process, I de-junk a little. Maybe I don't need so much of bowls, mixing bowls, or whatever I've got going on in these cupboards. I definitely know I could probably get, you know, maybe some of the Tupperware, but now if you can knock this out in a day, awesome. But if not, don't stress. Concentrate one day in your cupboards, another day in your pantry, however you want to do it. Take it drawer by drawer, day by day, whatever works for you. It's the progress that you're doing, okay? Not the perfection of getting it all done like that. It's a progress and it's gonna feel good. Come along with me as I give this kitchen a refresh. So here's what the pantry looks like. It's not bad. We've been able to maintain it, but it gets bananas really quick. There is a system, as you could tell, with the clear bins, have a baking section, but I think a lot of this could go down into the food room. Now I know that my situation is different than everybody's, but if you have a space in your basement, an extra closet you're not using, if you have room, I don't know, figure out where you have room, maybe in your garage, maybe you could put a shelf or a pantry in your garage. But for me, in the situation in this home, this is gonna work. Welcome to the pantry. Now I took the top shelf and decided to decorate it with things that we still are using in the kitchen. That way things don't get thrown up there. I'm keeping one slow cooker up here. I have many, by the way. In this corner, I have the dog food, into some oils and condiments, and then the lovely clear bins that I love using. I love this system. It works out really well for the kids. This is like the best idea I've ever had. In that back corner, I have honey, and then I kept this bowl to keep the garlic and onions in. No more being with the potatoes. And then this shelf here is all baking. I went through the baking section, separated things out to find things easier. This bin on the right is Derek's barbecue utensils, and then we have our gluten-free bin, our baking bin. That corner one is like protein drink and some tea things, then chips, bread, and then some food that doesn't really have a place to go once you open it. Our griddle is there next to the potato bin, and then that crate is filled with our freezer meal aluminum pans, our wheat grinder, the dog food. That blue bin has all of our paper goods in it, and then our trash can. And then behind the door is where I store all the aprons, also with the apron holder out in the kitchen. It's a coat rack, but I use it for aprons. So here's our pantry. I've had it like this for a week now. I started the journey with the pantry and it's working out great. I'm super happy with it. Now it's time to battle the drawers. So over by my stove, I keep knives and a couple of random utensils. So I have that here, and on the other side I have a spice drawer, and I'm really liking this because I could see the smaller bottles. They don't get lost in the cupboard. To the left of the microwave, I have the bigger spices. That's all of Derek's smoking spices. All of our big, like, all the big plastic containers of spices from like Costco and stuff. And some more regular size spices, but not. You get my drift. So things that we use a lot are right here. But I'm kind of thinking I want to keep one jar of the wooden utensils out and not 2 jars of a lot of the utensils out. So I am thinking that if I can figure out how to put this into here and adding more maybe in here, we'll take a look at this. Then I could add all my big spatulas and spoons and things in here with the knives. I don't know if it's going to work, but I'm going to try it. So here's what the 2 cabinets on either side of the microwave look like. So I have the spice cabinet and I have the cookbook cabinet. And I like having them there. But now that this drawer has spices, and I'm really liking it, maybe that this cookbook cabinet should hold the bigger spices so they're all together. And the cookbook's in this cabinet because it's above the KitchenAid and the other utensils. I think I'm going to do a little switcheroo. All right, they've been switched. Derek even went through his spices and went through those, got rid of some. And they all fit great in here as usual, which I knew they would. And then on the counter, 1 jar of utensils with the spatulas and the wooden spoons. And I love how this looks. It just brings a pop of brown to the kitchen and I love it. And of course, the spice drawer. It all works perfectly. Everything on the right side when cooking. And here's the cookbook cupboard. Everything fits perfect in there, of course. And it's above my KitchenAid. And that way when you're baking and things, cookbooks, KitchenAid. And this is the only kitchen like product on my counters. No toasters, no crock pots, none of that. That is the only thing. So here we go. I am loving this. This is working out really good. So this cupboard above the microwave is where I keep all of my recipe binders. So now I'm going to hit the cabinets here to the left and right of the stove. This is where I keep our pots and our frying pans. A little crazy here, but if we could just get it in order. And then this top rack here of this stainless steel, that's all Cali stuff. I'm going to take it out, put it downstairs. I just kind of threw it there. And then I'm just going to match all the lids to all the pots and make sure that we have the right ones and be able to store them correctly. Okay, I got it all straightened out. All the pots are in here and the frying pans. And in this cupboard on the other side of the stove is holding the smaller pots and all the lids to the pots and pans. And I'm holding these up with some dish racks that I got from the Dollar Tree. The last cabinet on this section is the medicine cabinet. Derek takes care of that. I never mess with it. But my big thing I want to tackle is this counter. It's just a catch-all. And it's just something that we have to periodically pick up. This is our junk drawer, the only junk drawer in the kitchen. Look how small it is. I am not going to tackle that today. I want to tackle under here. This is where I keep all the baking sheets and the cookie cooling trays and our muffin pans. So I'm going to attack this. Oh, there you have it. I moved the candle over to this area, the napkin holder, because I never know where to put that on the counters. On this side of the refrigerator is the only place that I put magnets and papers and pads, because you really can't see it. But it's cleaned up. So here's the outcome of all the baking goods underneath. I did put a lot downstairs, and there's a lot that Callie is going to be going through. So I have more space. It's not crazy crowded and jam-packed. Oh, finally, it feels so good to get this area cleaned up after doing the kitchen. So that was the tour of this section of the kitchen. Now we're going to move over to the left side of the kitchen. This is our dish cabinet. We keep our dishes and bowls, plates. Yeah, sometimes I keep some of my recording things in here like batteries and cameras. That needs to change. And then all of our, and some of our fancy servingware like great boats and platters. All the pretty glass stuff. And here I just straightened it up. I did take a few things away, but for the most part it needed to be straightened up, and this feels really good. Underneath it is this drawer here that I keep all of the baggies in, and aluminum foil and wax paper. I didn't need to do too much to this drawer. All right, down below is my Tupperware cabinet. I know people don't like the term Tupperware, but that's what I say. So rubber containers, plasticware, all that. So in here in the far back is where I kept the last of the things that we got from our wedding. This beautiful Savannah goblet and serving pitcher. They're beautiful, absolutely beautiful, but I can clear up some space and move them down into the basement. I use these for fancy dinners, mostly with Derek and I, and then on the holidays, but they could be moved downstairs. And here you have it. This is the final look. So in this bin I have some little odds and ends to tools to some equipment like the chopper and things like that. But this is where we get ready for lunch. We have our bento boxes for the kids and for the grown-ups. They're freezable, and where I keep my soup containers that are freezable as well. Now moving to the right of the dishwasher, this drawer is where I keep all of our cloths and dishcloths. A lot of them are in the wash right now. And then below that is a cupboard that I kept a lot of our casserole dishes. Well, at one point it had our strainers in there, but now it's a catch-all. So here's what it looked like after I cleaned it up. So I moved the toaster from the pantry in here. That helped out big time. This bin here is for all of our NutriBullet things and parts to keep in. But this is where I keep our cake pans and our bread pans. So I use those all the time. And then down below behind the toaster are our pitchers and then the strainers. So I like having the toaster here and not in the pantry. Above that is the cup and mug cupboard. So we have random mugs. A lot of them are Disney. We have wine glasses that we use for the holidays. We have our to-go water cups and insulated thermoses, and then the normal drinking ware. Up above the top shelf is all our Disney mugs, and then the NutriBullet has its own little space. Down below are the normal cups. I used to have a lot more glasses than this, but they've broken over time, so I definitely need to get some more of those. But to the left is all of our to-go thermoses and the normal mugs. I could probably get rid of some more, but I felt really good about this. All right, for decorations in the kitchen, I kept it super simple. I keep some of my aprons over here, and then I have my fruit bowl, and then just a cute decor sign. This is going to stay like this until Halloween. And then my bread box that I found at Michael's, and yes, I do have bread in it. And then our sign for our menu, for menu planning. By the sink, I have this really cute tea set that I got at TJ Maxx, I want to say maybe a year and a half ago. They're beautiful. I love them. So I just have them in that corner, and it's so cute to look at. So I kept it very simple. Down below here in the sink, I did not do. I'm saving that for another time. But the kitchen feels really good not having a whole lot out on the counters. And I'm keeping the big island decor free. I don't want anything on it. It's a catch-all anyway. It doesn't need decor. So now let's work on this section in front of the stove. So this silverware drawer is working out really, really good. We have our steak knives here, serving forks and spoons, forks, soup spoons, they're in the dishwasher, and knives. I am not touching this drawer. This has been awesome. And these two drawers haven't been doing too bad. They get a little crowded, but I'm just trying to make homes for everything. But I think I have too many measuring cups. Because I do love this system. I love that my measuring spoons are here. So I'm going to declutter and get rid of some measuring spoons so it doesn't get all crowded up here. But I'm still very happy that I did move this in this direction. So I'm going to clean it up. All right, it's all done. Silverware drawer has all the silverware back in it. And then the next drawer holds the can openers, the garlic press, little things like that. And then this section holds all the measuring cups, tools for mixers, and there you have it, all done. All right, I'm going through all my pot holders and pot mats, and I'm gonna get them in the wash and washed up, and that'll be a good refresh for them. Okay, this was all cleaned out. I do have these little like rubbery claw-looking ones, and I just put them in a bin so they wouldn't get lost in this drawer. And then down below, this was kind of empty and just kind of held scattered things. It really didn't have a point. So now it has some other odds and ends, cookingware. We do have the plugs to our griddles, a cheese grater, rolling pins, stuff that belongs to the KitchenAid, and the Instapot, like our Instapot racks. So this is this drawer. Down below here is where I keep bowls and casserole dishes, but it's gotten crazy. Yeah, Paige is gonna check it out. And out of hand. I kind of want to bring this shelf down one more. These shelves are pretty high. I think I'm gonna bring it down one more, and let's see what we can do. Paige is checking it out. You gonna help me? And lastly is this cupboard here. I put the cutting boards over here. They were kind of with the baking dishes, like the baking sheets and muffin tins, and then they got moved to underneath the stove. Like, I just constantly move those. So they're here now. Our measuring cups, our baking dishes, and then all of our bowls with lids. So, and the salad spinner is behind those bowls. So this is gonna work out really good. I love the way that it looks. And I stored the lids to the bowls underneath them. Thank you for tuning in and staying for this kitchen reboot. I haven't really given you a detailed tour of the kitchen, so there you have it. You don't need to conquer this in one day. It took me a week and it feels so good. So when you have a moment, freshen up a drawer, go through your cupboards. It'll feel so good. Thank you so much for joining me. We'll see you real soon. Bye.